Popping. Now we're recording. All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. We have a light cast on here tonight. Wanted to introduce myself. I'm Lorie Woodruff, real estate professional in the Washington, D.C. area in Maryland, and host of Lorie TV. And we are tonight talking about real estate investing 101. The reason why we have this topic on the table is because people have questions, and we want to make sure they have answers. So I wanted to also introduce one of my good friends and business partner who's on the Zoom conference, Daniel Buffet. But before I do, for you Facebook friends of mine, if you want to chime in, make sure you go to my page and click the Zoom link, and you can be right on the Zoom page with us as far as the Zoom conference. So if you want to be on that or call in, you see the information. Otherwise, chime in. Do what you have been as far as giving comments, feedback on this feed right here, and we will make sure that we shout you out as much as possible because I got to look at both screens, okay? So Daniel Buffet is a real estate investor that I've been working with for, I'm going to say 2 years. So I'm just going to round it off, Daniel.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, I'm going to say 2 years, and we gelled from the first moment we saw each other. And when you have a common ground of real estate, it's like, you know, it's not even a job anymore that we talk about it. So, you know, we have fun with it. Real estate is what I do. You know, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I can't.
It's like life.
I don't have a 9-to-5 job, so I'd be fired otherwise. But real estate is my passion. So this is why we're bringing this topic tonight. So Daniel Buffet, who are you, young man?
I am Daniel Buffet. I am also AKA Dr. Dan here on Unleash Live. I am a real estate investor, first and foremost, but I'm also a author. And have the newly released book called Tears of a Man, Poetic Chronicles of a Young Heart.
You know I'm going to shout you out.
Definitely an awesome book.
Very good.
So I am also a day trader doing Forex trading within the Forex market.
Forex.
Yeah. Yep.
Investing, author, okay? Not just sitting at home, just doing nothing, just sipping on his mango drinky drink. So he's doing some big things. So we always want to shout people out for what they're doing, especially in the community and when it's uplifting other people, and he does just that. So we'll talk a little bit more. Unleash Your Irresistibility is about to come into a movie.
I'm so excited.
Jordan, are you on the line? So you officially get it. So Unleash Your Irresistibility is in the stages of the big screen. All right. Yeah. So we get to unleash, and you get to see all the secrets. So by the end of 2018, Unleash will be on the silver screen. So I'm super proud to bring that out and let you guys get a feel of what's been brewing for the last couple of years, actually, how a lot of things came about. So Jordan Bryant, thank you very much for helping me birth this baby, and we're going to be in it all the way to the end. So thank you.
Let's win it, baby. Let's go.
All right. So I'm holding you guys have to hold me now accountable. So if you see me on the streets or anything, so you got to just remember what's going on with that project you said you were working on, right? That's what friends do for one another. So I put it out there, so the accountability has to be there with my friends.
No doubt, no doubt.
Thank you in advance. Jordan, I'm going to need you. I'm going to tell you I'm going to need you. All right, anything popping off crazy before we get started?
Nah, everything's been kind of quiet on this side of town. I'm pretty cool right now.
Okay. All right, so let's dive into the topic. As I said, if you guys have more questions or feedback, make sure you chime in on the Facebook feed. And we'll make sure that we get that addressed. At the end, we'll certainly make sure we give everybody's contact information so that if you wanted to get in touch with myself or Daniel, you can do that. All right? All right, so Real Estate Investing 101 is the topic that we're going to address today. Simply stated, when investing in real estate, the goal is to put money to work today and allow it to increase so that you have more money in the future. All right? Think about that. The profit or return that you make on your real estate investments is the attraction for most investors. Real estate investing can be as simple as playing Monopoly. You know that game Monopoly. When you understand the basic factors of the investment economy, economics and risk. All right. I never really understood Monopoly at first when I was playing it. It was just a game. But if you really pay attention to the dynamics of Monopoly, that's how the wealthy folks do it every single day. So we're going to talk a little bit about 6 ways. 6 ways, and all of the topics when we finish, we're going to make sure that we put them in the thread so you can roll back and just follow back in with the notes. But 6 ways tonight that real estate investors make money. So I don't know who's out there that might be interested in buying property, maybe holding property, Daniel. So we're going to talk about both sides of it as far as holding property as an investment, and then also just finding that cute little ugly house that might need to be rehabbed, and then that first time, second time buyer comes along and they're like, I want it. Okay? We'll talk about how we work that system out. All right, so 6 ways that investors make money. Number 1 is they look for real estate appreciation, Daniel.
Real estate appreciation.
Okay? Yeah. So real estate appreciation. Now, when you buy low, you intend to sell what?
High.
Right.
Always.
Now, always, you can't say, all right, 2007, everybody wasn't buying low and selling high because of the shift in the market at that time. But ideally, what you want to do is, I'm a real estate agent, so I do a lot of research for new investors and even seasoned investors. Their goal is to buy an asset as low as possible.
Low as possible.
All right? So if they plan to keep a tenant in, and I'm going to flip this back to Daniel because he has a tenant. We're going to get kind of into your numbers if you don't mind. I know you have a property. You have a property and you bought it. Let's just give random numbers.
Okay, so this was actually one of my first purchases. Someone close to about 75. Right now the tenant is in there paying about 15. We're in the process of actually purchasing another house. But I'm come to find out this particular property, all we have to do is actually pay the taxes on the property, and it's ours. It's free and clear. All we have to do is pay the suburb for taxes.
The sound is choppy.
It's choppy?
Yeah.
One quick second.
Let me make sure everybody can hear. But he's saying he bought a unit at $75,000. All right. There is a mortgage on the property. So you use debt services such as a mortgage to take care of purchasing the unit. Okay?
Correct.
You got it? Go for it.
So
You're back okay.
Good.
You keep on talking. We're going to see.
So the second property right now, we're in the process of paying off the taxes on this one particular property in District Heights. It is free and clear. And all we have to do is pay the taxes. So once we pay the $3,000 of taxes on the property, it's ours completely. And then what we'll do is just put a little bit of money into it to rehab it, and then go ahead and start renting it out. Okay.
So this is the condo you're talking about?
This is a townhouse, actually.
Let's talk about the condo that you have. You have an investment property.
Correct. The investment property right now, $75,000 paid for it. And right now, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, 2 levels.
It's about 113, 110.
Right now, we're bringing in about 15.
No, for the value.
Oh, for value?
Mm-hmm.
Value of the property is about 120.
Okay. All right. So that's my point. So pay attention here. You bought it at $75,000, not just last year, but it takes seasoning, as we call it, time to allow the assets to mature and build up some what? Equity. Equity is the money that that appreciates over time. Yes, so went from $75,000 as the debt amount, and now clearly it could be at least $120,000. Okay. Okay. So that is what we're looking at. So when you're looking at renting versus buying, you have to sit down with your financial advisor or like a real estate agent or your loan officer and look at what are the advantages to renting and what are the financial advantages to owning. Because what's going to happen is when you're in an apartment, there's no appreciation there at all. The only thing that's going up is your rent. All right. You don't have an asset that's keeping up with that or more. So even if it is a condominium that you purchased for your first or a townhome, it's the asset that you want to get as your first piece of investment. Because even as a first-time buyer, you're now an investor because you appreciate. Make sense, everybody? Hey, Wood. Hey, Nick. Hey, guys, it just popped on. So you want to look for something that appreciates, all right? And that's what I do all week long is really just take a look at things, what is in increasing areas. Prince George's County overall has increased about 3% last year. Wow. In certain areas, they're up. Like I've noticed a lot of Southern Maryland, like Prince George, Temple Hills is up like double digits.
Yeah.
So that shows investors like Daniel, if people are buying in Fort Washington, Oxon Hill, Temple Hills, even Cheltenham, those are areas where investors are doing a lot of renovation. Hello, he's having a thought right now.
I am.
Right. So you got to look at, the statistics to see, all right, Lorie, show me some areas that are really increasing in value. What are some things that are popping as far as moving? So I can show you those things. But overall, Prince George's County is up. DC, can you believe it or not, went down 3% last year.
I can believe it.
3%.
And this is the reason why I say I can believe it is because, number one, DC is becoming oversaturated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the ceiling at in DC?
Baltimore just released their program to buy abandoned houses for $1. Okay. So you can imagine there's going to be a number of investors who are moving out to Baltimore to rehab houses out in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't check the numbers on Baltimore.
Yeah, you can purchase houses for $1 now. There are some stipulations to it.
Right.
But the thing is, you also have the what is the thing called? The bullet train that is about to break ground this year. So that bullet train is supposed to reduce the travel time between Baltimore and DC from an hour down to 15 minutes.
Okay.
You have DC oversaturated, overpopulated. Baltimore is up and coming. People are moving out into Baltimore because of that bullet train.
That's right. So you got to pay attention to what's going on around you. So plain and simple, it's even if you are looking to live in the property, buy it low, as low as possible. And even if you were to get it at market, most of the appreciation in the county, you're going to be looking at between 2 and 5% appreciation each year. All right? You got to keep up with that. So I don't know Detroit, Zane, because I'm not in the Detroit area. But either way, we even at first-time home buyers, when I speak with them, that is an investment property. That's your very first one, and it will appreciate over time. So even if, let's say, after 5 years, 7 years, you outgrow it, then you start to revert that property. You don't sell your asset. You don't sell it. You change that and revert it to an investment property. You continue the growth of the appreciation. That's what you did, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
He lived in the condo first. That was his first home that he lived in.
And I actually plan on doing the very same thing with the next property that I purchased. I'm planning to refinance the condo right now to get it out of the FHA loan, the conventional loan. So I will free myself up to actually purchase another house with the FHA loan. So this time, either I'm going to go the 203K route of purchasing something low, rehabbing it on my own, or, purchase something that's fairly new.
Okay. See, that's a real estate agent has to help you with that. So I can certainly help you with that. So you don't have another real estate agent, do you?
You better stop playing games. Go here somewhere. You are a real estate agent. You are my real estate agent. Stop.
He knows what's up. He knows. We have fun with what we do, so it's good. All right, so this rolls into, Daniel, number 2 as far as a cash, 6 ways real estate investors make money. Number 2 is a cash flow property, cash flow income. So we kind of talked about that as far as getting a property and when you revert it to a rental home. You got to talk with a couple of advisors before you do that.
You definitely need to check out your environment, your location, where it's at, school district, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, you
I
do.
think all of that stuff is going to play a part in getting good tenants in first and foremost,
Right.
and getting tenants to stay.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have tenants staying, then basically you just have a liability on your hand.
You got an open door. You don't want that revolving door every year that you have somebody moving out of your property. If you do not, and I repeat, if you own a property and then you want to rent it out, I would highly suggest property management.
Yeah.
Unless you do professional property management, do not just think that it's just about collecting checks. And I did a video on Lorie TV about that one. It was funny, but it was true. So you want to be a landlord, check that one out. Everyone can't be a property manager. It's not just about collecting checks.
Right.
So, stay in your lane. Yes, you own the home. Yes, you did. But management is a whole different degree of responsibility and liability. And you don't want to be dealing with that if you've got a home across town. Then you've got, the renters over here that don't pay their rent. What are you going to do? You got to do the right thing and serve them. Serve them.
You got to also do your due diligence when you are selecting your property manager, because there are some property managers who are lazy.
Property managers are lazy. Some of them, you have to interview them.
Yes, you got to interview them, look at their track record, see what type of sales they done brought in for the year, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Actually, they could be taking advantage of you.
That's right. And they can charge anywhere up to 8 or 10% of the rental amount. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say that they're not worth that, but you have to interview them to find out what they do and, really speak to some references.
Right. Right.
Really, and look at some of the properties that they've managed, because this is your house that they're going to be managing.
Right.
I've got some references. It's a skinny list of property managers. It's a very skinny list, but I've got some just in case you might need some references, because some people right now, they're looking to put their house on the market and they're thinking about this conversation about who could do the management. So just connect with me and we can talk about who might be a good fit for your property. Right. Now, one thing I did mention also, as far as when you are collecting checks, when you are collecting profit on your property, and I'm going to just use whole numbers here. Let's say the rental, your mortgage is $1,000, and you are collecting $2,000, which is that's a good spread, right? Yeah. That's a good spread, but I'm just using these numbers here just to show you. You should hold at least 20% of that profit aside. 10% of that's going to be, Daniel, for at least your management. And then the other 10% you want to hold for repairs, junk that goes wrong, things that you put it in an escrow.
Yeah, that's actually what I do.
Yeah, because it will go wrong. Something will go wrong.
I take normally somewhere close about maybe 15% of the rent that comes in. Mm-hmm. I stash that to the side, so just in case there are maybe repairs that need to happen and so on and so forth, I can actually take care of that.
Right.
So I have insurance that's coming out, so that if there are any type of repairs that need to happen, I can get it done quickly without thinking about it, and then just kind of, make some adjustments with the insurance company to see if there's anything that we can do for reimbursement.
But it's not all profit. So when you take a look at that spread and you're thinking, oh, I got $1,000 that goes right in my pocket. No, it's a business transaction. So you have to take a look and make some deductions first to see, all right, if it's 20% that I need to set aside for management and for repairs, that's $200 off the top. $800 is yours. Right. $800 is yours. All right, that's what you could profit. That is what we call cash flow income. And we're not even getting involved if there's any other deductions that could be there, right? Taxes.
There's some other things that you can do to avoid some taxes on yourself, but I'm not going to get into all that tonight.
Yeah, not all that detail. But when you are reverting your home that was owner occupied now into a rental property, you want to talk to a couple of people. You want to talk to a real estate agent to see where should the rents be, where are the current rents trending. You want to talk with a real estate attorney. Real estate attorney, because shit happens, and shit will happen when you don't live there anymore.
And the thing is, and one thing is, just like you said, shit will happen where people will actually try to sue you for little small things, and you don't even live there anymore. It's living in the house, but those tenants will try to sue you for negligence, quote unquote.
That's right.
But the thing is, this is where you get smart with it and you put your house into a business name.
That's right. I was about to say that.
Yeah, that way they can't come after your assets.
Right. So if Daniel owns a condo in his personal name, you need to talk with an attorney about switching it over to Daniel LLC. All right, because that protects Daniel, personal Daniel, from any liabilities anybody were to slip and fall or try to sue you personally. You have that shelter. So that is always best practice. I'm glad you said that, brother, to make sure that all of your properties, rental properties, properties that you're flipping for profit, that they are in a business name. Okay, but as I said, if you're about to convert that over from owner occupant, because a lot of people right now are having that conversation, make sure you talk to a realtor to get some numbers on what kind of values can you get for market rent. Is it worth it to do it now? Talk with a real estate attorney to just kind of position yourself and let them know what you're about to do. And then also position yourself with a property management company. Interview them all before you put a tenant in there. Okay, and definitely have a contractual team that can be there to take care of things that go wrong with the property. So contracting team is mandatory.
So essential.
I had one young lady just move in DC property, had to be around Christmas time. And this is about a week later, she called me and the dryer didn't work. Like when we walked through the house, everything was looking cool and updated. And the owner just bought the property. He has no experience at all with managing property. So something went wrong with the dryer. It wasn't heating up. She made the call to him and he said, I'm not quite sure how to fix that. Can I give you a call back? Like, you don't even need to say that to your tenant. You don't say that. So it's already from the mindset of like, this is going to be a long journey if anything else goes wrong, because you're not equipped as a landlord. You know, you got to call, let me see how to fix the dryer.
This is the very reason why I decided to go with a property manager, because first and foremost, they have more contacts than I do when it comes down to just maintenance men. You know, they have a little bit more experience than I do when it comes down to getting repairs done.
They do.
And then on top of that, I don't want to be dealing with the hassle. I got to.
Yes, you do. You know how to put bounce and sheets in the dryer. That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, but
I'll be over there scratching my head like this. That's a good question. I don't know. But you hire professionals who can do that. Our point is make sure that you hire your team of people so that when you get the dryer call or the water heater breaks down, your ass is not trying to sit there and figure it out at 10 o'clock in the evening. Okay? Deal?
That phone call. I don't listen. I wound up with my first property manager that I had. I ended up getting phone calls late at night. Now, I'm in Japan at that time.
You can't do nothing.
Here it is. I'm getting phone calls from the tenant.
Right.
At like 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Talking about there's problems, with, the electricity, the hot water heater, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are you calling me instead of the property manager?
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is why I say you got to do your due diligence when it comes down to interviewing and researching these property managers, because some of them will not.
They're lazy. They don't do their job. So, you do what you can. It's a hit or miss with them. But at the same time, you as a homeowner should not be the contact person so that the tenants see you coming in and out, fixing the filter and doing all that. Because then they're like, oh, you live where? What's your personal address? to take advantage of that situation. So you need to make sure management is there, property manager. So they're the buffer between tenant and owner. Owner just needs, it's a business decision at that point to own that property, to cash flow on that property, and to let the management company do their job. You to be going over there and they see your face, it then just becomes extra emotional. Oh, I can't pay the rent, Mr. Bethea.
No.
I can't pay the rent, so can you just give me a couple more days?
Listen, put your boobs back in your shirt. Listen, I want my money.
But she sure will. Mr. Bethea, I'm so sorry. I can't pay the rent. Right. So she's like, come on inside. I just made some food.
Nope.
Right. Did you see the food I made tonight for dinner?
Yes, I see it from a distance.
Woo! I think I need to package this stuff up and sell it to y'all. It was delicious. I had to go for seconds.
Oh, I'm glad you went for seconds.
I did.
Went in my belly.
I impressed my damn self with that one. Hooray for those that know how to bust it out in the kitchen. All right, so that's cash flow. So definitely just get your team of folks together. You want to get in contact with Daniel or myself to get the skinny on that, let us know. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is my favorite.
What's that?
6 ways investors make money. They find and flip properties. Now, don't you spend a whole hour on here. I know we can. But this is one of the hottest ways HGTV lovers can make money. This is a business. All right? So I want you to picture this. I want you to picture this. You see a home in your neighborhood, or your mother or a good friend tells you there's this house down the street and it's been sitting there vacant for a little while, and I think it's, talk to the family. I think they're willing to sell it at a good price. They really don't want to keep it. Those are the kind of conversations that go on in so many communities on an hourly basis. And if you're in the mix of getting one of those properties down the street, raggedy looking, we're going to show you in the next couple steps of what you can do to make that work with no money out of your pocket. Let's talk about that. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's go, girl.
All right. So HGTV got a lot of people thinking that I can do that in 30 freaking minutes. 30 whole minutes, right? With the commercial break. So we're going to break this down and give you an example of what it looks like. I just recently got an investment property over in Capitol Heights. So we're going to start working on that. And I'm going to show you how I got that with zero money out of pocket. It all is about relationships. It's all about relationships. So this may be the icing on your cake on your Thursday Unleashed evening that you can say, oh my freaking gosh. Oh my gosh, I didn't know I could do it with no money out of pocket. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, y'all ready? All right, so as I said, let's take a property down the street, grandma's house that's been abandoned for a little while, right?
Right.
And it's been sitting there. As I said, you've got to have your team around you, and I'm going to give you the pointers of who are the main characters to pull this zero money out of pocket transaction out of place. All right? I'm going to write them down. For one, you got to have a realtor.
Yep.
He or she has to be able to give you comparables in the neighborhood to show you what raggedy houses are selling for as is.
Yep.
All right. Then you also want to know fixed up, looking cute and beautiful HGTV style. What does it look like in price? That's called your after renovated price or after repair value, ARV. So there's a spread in between that. So I'm just going to run a number out there. Let's say you bought it at $50,000.
That's a nice one right there.
That's a nice low number, but I'm just giving you an example.
Okay.
50 grand. 50 grand you bought it for. Okay? And the selling price in that neighborhood is $250,000. You would think that's a lot of spread in between there, but I want to show you how those moving parts can help out. So one, you need an experienced real estate agent to show you those two figures.
Right.
The second thing is you need to have is a private financing company. Unless you have cash, then it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Or for the folks that want to pull this off like next week, private financing company. Private financing company is going to allow you to finance a portion of that house and renovation price into your first investment portfolio. So I'm going to run live numbers for you right here. So let's say the house needed about $150,000.
Yeah, let me be honest with you. At
$100,000 in repairs.
So you said 50?
$50,000 is the house.
100?
$100,000 is the estimated repairs that a licensed contractor did build out for you.
Yes.
I said license.
Licensed HVAC, licensed electrician, and licensed plumber. Those you need.
And whatever they estimate, add in 10 to 20% more. It's called your overflow, because there's always going to be an oops. Estimate for that. Right. So that contingency reserve is, I would say, about 120. All right. So now you're up to $120,000 plus your sales price. So you're at $170,000.
Yeah, 170.
170? Okay. The private financing company will lend you, let's say, up to 70% of your after renovated.
I've seen some people do 80, but typically 70.
170?
People do 80, but typically it is about 70.
Okay. So 170 divided by the value, you're at 0.68%, so 68%. So you're good. So that means the private financing company will finance $120,000 of those necessary repairs and grandma's price of the house, right? So at closing, when you close on that property, the family gets paid, whoever the seller is of that property, and now you've got $120,000 sitting in escrow waiting for you to go out and take pictures. Hey, sold, hey. And begin your project. Now, of course, there's way more details involved, but I wanted to show you how this can work out. So when people say, well, I can't afford that. Well, if you knew a private financing company that can finance not based on your credits so much, but based on the asset alone, they're looking at how much equity is in that project. That's it. Right. That's what private financing companies do. And so those are the companies that Daniel has worked with, I have personally worked with. And when you don't have $170,000 in your bank account quite yet, it's coming. Right. You need to use private financing company. And most of your traditional lenders won't be a fit for that because they're looking for the world. You know, they're going to have different requirements. This is the private sector for this kind of financing. Right. So what's your experience been dealing with financing companies like that?
It's been actually pretty great. One of the last deals, unfortunately, it didn't go through, but I can't remember her name. I believe it was Janet Lucas, actually.
Janet Lucas, you're getting a shout out.
Yeah, she did an amazing job of trying to get me the financing, getting me the paperwork together, getting things processed, getting back to me on time. That way I can actually make my final assessment about what it is that I'm going to do. I mean, like, amazing work. So she is definitely going to get my business this time go around.
Yeah, so we can point you in the direction of folks that can help you get that deal done. So let's talk about when you're ready. The construction period is really dependent on how much work that had to be done. Let's just say you got permits and everything's flowing, your contractors are reporting to work on time, and they do everything they're supposed to do. You want to stay on their asses as much as possible because you have a deadline. The private financing company is just not going to stay open forever. With your loan, you've got pretty much 6 months to get that project knocked out. So let's in this particular case, it's been 4 months. The house is looking HGTV perfect, and you are ready to get this house on the market. So now I'll come back out And I'm going to congratulate you because it looks so good. It's staged. It's smelling good. The work detail looks really good.
Yeah.
Now it's time to put this puppy on the market. A couple months has passed. Prince George's County is pumping up. Guess what's happened? Got a little bit more appreciation. So now instead of that 250 number that we were conservative about, that baby is selling for 265. Okay? Just give me
money.
It happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you have to really make sure you know before you buy, am I in a declining area or am I in a good thriving area?
Right.
So now you owe the bank $170,000 that needs to be paid off. You need to find out now, how much profits am I going to make?
Mm-hmm.
Got to factor in closing costs to get out of the loan. Out of the loan. And that factor about 10% of your sales price. So I'm going to just say about $25,000. Okay? Now, for you to start your project, and you may want to have a private joint venture, we'll talk about that next, but if you had to borrow any other funds, what I'm looking at is paying back $170,000 and factoring in about $25,000 for closing costs, because you might have a first-time buyer that may want some closing costs. Got to pay commissions for real estate agents to sell the property, stage the property, okay? And any other juicy fees that might be out there. So now you're looking at a profit of about $70,000 once you factor in what you owe to the private mortgage company, private bank, and then what you're actually selling it for. So now that difference between that 195 and that 265 number is the profit that your business would walk away with. How you like that?
Oh, less than 75 grand?
70,000 for a couple months of overseeing a project.
That's most people's income for the entire year.
$70,000 could be someone's salary for the entire year. You invested 3, 4, even 6 months on this particular deal. But you gotta have strategic people in place to make that work.
And you gotta understand also, you're not doing the work.
You're not doing the work. That's the reason why the contractor is so key. Because if you had, on the front end, I'm not saying get the house and then look for the contractors. Please. Right. But if you find these folks now and you start interviewing them, you got your team already. All you got to do is find a property. There was no money that was spent out of pocket. Remember, the private financing company saw your deal and they financed the house and the sales price. I'm sorry, the rehab amount. Okay, so don't overcomplicate it and think you got to have thousands of dollars and a 500% down payment. You don't need all that.
Nope, we'll need it.
So a contracting team is your heartbeat to everything. The real estate agent is going to help you on the front end and definitely on the back end when they are selling the property for you. Because if they gave you numbers wrong, you want an upside down number. Let's say they said 250, but the numbers really are like 220.
Yeah.
Just lost your profit because those weren't really true numbers. Okay? So we got that. So finding and flipping properties has been a huge business for some people. Some people have stopped their regular jobs.
Yeah.
And this is all they do. They scout properties. They're in khakis and in tennis shoes all day. Uggs or boots like me, and we're just looking for deals out there, and it's a pretty profitable deal. So I'm always looking for good properties out there. So if you know anybody that might need to talk a little bit about real estate, let me know.
And listen, if you guys have anybody out there that want to actually have their house flipped for them, listen, talk to me. I've been doing it for several years now, know how to do it professionally. We actually like to help individuals who are in desperate situations, such as individuals who are reversed on their mortgage. We come in with the renovation costs, renovate the property with the understanding that we are going to put the house on the market to be sold afterwards. This way, not only do you walk away without a mortgage, but you also walk away with money in your pocket, while also money in our pocket.
Right. And talk about the deal that we did in the fall time.
Which one was
Capitol Heights.
Okay. So
He said which one? I like that.
so the one in Capitol Heights, the owners, they took out a second mortgage on their house to pay for a new house up in I think it was
Glendale.
Yeah. So what happened was they actually turned the house over to Section 8 to be rented out. Section 8 tore the house to shreds.
Tore it up.
Completely. Okay. So it was completely uninhabitable. And we sat down, we talked to them and told them that they're going to run into a number of investors who are going to try to come in and just snatch the house up from under.
Right. I'll give you $1 for it.
Yeah, basically. Now, the owners, they still had a mortgage of somewhere close to about $158, I believe, $1,000 on it. But a lot of investors basically giving them the price of $130, $140, which would have left them with a bill.
Right.
We told them what we'll do is come in, renovate the entire house for them. And during that time, we'll pay you a certain amount, cover all your bills as well as your mortgage fees. Once we get the house finished, what we'll do is we'll recoup what we put in, the rehab costs, and then the profit would be split. Okay. So they walked away with $21,000 in their pocket without them even having a mortgage anymore.
And they didn't do any work.
They didn't do any work.
Right.
And walked away with $31,000 in their pocket.
Right. So hear me when I tell you there's no one way to do these deals. What he's saying is he connected with a home seller that, as is, the property was just in too much disrepair to make any kind of profit as is, because they had a first mortgage and they owed money on a second mortgage. So if they were to sell it at the price, they would owe money at the settlement table, right? So what Daniel did, Liberty Homes Investments, they come in and do something very unique that most won't even think about doing this way. They came in and just started the renovation, under contract, of course, with agreements, but out of their pocket. They budgeted enough to fix the house up, get it to a position where now the value has appreciated to this point because the house is in move-in condition, it's renovated, it's HGTV perfect, and now everyone eats. So now the sellers will get a portion back at the settlement table because there's money to give, and Liberty Homes Investment Group will recoup their funds and profit at that point. So everyone at the settlement table took a happy smile. Otherwise, that could have been a property that went into default and lost money, or it just would have been just a non-performing property because it's just been sitting there. So, you know, he does those unique things. And I tell you, if you take a look, it's a 7713?
7713. Yeah.
7713 Orange Tree Court. If you Google that, I have the YouTube video of what that looked like after. Oh my goodness. It was beautiful. You guys did an amazing job on that.
Also, take a look at the one with Castle Drive, 9404 Castle Drive.
9404 Castle Drive in Upper Marlboro was another one that they did. They connected with the homeowner, talked about what needs to be done to get this house value up here so that the seller can make a profit and his Liberty Homes can make a profit. They come in and take care of that. I love that concept, and we're going to start doing some more of that in the spring and summer markets because there's so many people that are out there that want to sell their property that won't do it because they think, all right, well, I've got equity in the house, but I can't get to it because I lost my job or my credit is not that great. I just don't have the money to fix the kitchen and everything up. So stay tuned for the program, Sell Now program that I was going to be introducing. But that's going to be a huge way to introduce money that can be given to your home renovation. And then you sit back and you just watch it be done, and the increased value is going to help out, and then you get yourself a wonderful buyer who's going to buy at the high market price.
Yeah.
So creatively, things like that can be done, but you just have to position yourself with the right people to see, hey, let's talk about this. This is what I have. What do you think could be a good fit for what I have going on? So definitely, Daniel, you make sure we'll drop your information in so somebody can get in touch with you, because in the Maryland, are you all doing it in DC?
We haven't done any in DC as of yet, but we are looking forward to doing some in DC.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. So he's not buying the house. All he is taking a position to be able to take those renovation costs.
Right.
Okay. With the permission. You just don't go in and work on people's houses.
Right.
Permission to make money. So these are ways that investors are making money. Okay. There's not just one way to skin this cat. So number 4, we roll into that one, is joint partnerships.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this kind of puts everything together as far as who do you know? Who do you know that has money in their 401k or retirement plan? $20,000, $30,000. Okay. Doesn't need to be a lot.
Right.
Because that money could be invested into a project that you're working on. And what if you've got 3 or 4 of those people that are able to do that? Remember, grandma's house costs how much? 50 grand, right? So instead of you financing the deal, what if you were to partner with 4 of your great friends who have money that are sitting in a slow moving retirement account, and you talk with them about a high percentage return if they were to invest for a short term? So imagine if 4 of your friends got together with $50,000. That's $200,000 that you now have cash. That you're able to start your project.
Man,
With how much money out of pocket, Daniel?
0.
Joint ventureship. When you have this joint partnership, it's about who you know. Connect the dots. It's not hard, but you got to connect with the right people. Now those folks, they want a return on their money. It's up to you to say, at that $50,000, I'll return this in 6 months, 9 months at this percentage. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
What the hell are they going to say? They're going to say yes because their 401ks are definitely not giving them 20% on their money.
Most 401ks will give you a return of maybe 10% at the end of the year.
Maybe. And it might roll backwards and you lose that money. So there's no positive guarantee with that.
And here you're getting 20% on your money,
Nothing.
Take an entire year, sometimes even 6 months. Come on.
Right. So if you have as I said, you still need a real estate professional. You still need your contracting team. And then if you have your business joint venture partners that's backing your deal, you could have multiple ways. It doesn't have to just be one. If you got that one great friend that has 200,000, that's awesome.
Right.
But don't feel like you have to put all the weight on one individual.
You need to find that friend.
Find those friends. Like, they're there. People have money in their 401ks. That's not a conversation that we have at the dinner table. So how much money you got in your 401k? Oh, really? 75? Let's make that money work for you. And then, then we would have a sit down conversation. If I could show you a better way on a return and have that money back in your possession, you get it back with a 20% gain after 6 or 9 months. What are they going to say?
They're not going to say much. I got a couple of guys right now who, me and my brother, we talk to about what we do. And they're already ready to kind of go ahead and just hand over some cash to us to go ahead and do a couple of rehabs.
Right.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
Right. Because you don't ask your 401k company, can we make some alterations on this? They're not, it's not a fast-pacing interest anyway. So if you knew another alternate route that could give you a better return, you would say, okay. But you can't just give it to somebody brand new who's just like, hey, I'm thinking about real estate. You want to give me 20%? I'll give you 20% if you give me $100 grand.
No, I'm going to put you in a joint venture with someone so you can earn first and foremost. Because I'm not giving you my cash and you don't know what you're doing. Right.
You got to have some history of doing this, or at least partner with someone who has history of doing it. That's not a topic that you want to mess around with people's money with. All right. So we'll show you ways of strategically getting that done. Hey, Kev.
What's going on, sir?
How are you, sir? Welcome back.
Doing fantastic, man. Just finishing up some business. That's all. How y'all doing out there tonight?
Very good. We are finishing up our 6 ways to real estate investors can make money. So before we finish things off, we're going to talk about 1 is real estate appreciation. Okay, of course, the asset appreciating. 2 is we talked about cash flow income. That means buying a property, holding it, and watching it mature and watching that cash flow come in your pocket. Number 3 is our fun favorite.
Yes.
Our HGTV favorite, find and flip a property. And number 4 is a joint partnership, all right? And a partnership simply means just partnering with experienced, trusting, and professional people that will get the job done accordingly to the plan, all right? Yeah, I get it where somebody might be brand new and wanting to do this, but you got to have someone in your team that has experience doing this, because there's always going to be some hiccups throughout the way, and you want to make sure somebody is knowledgeable to take you guys all the way through. All right. So 2 more, and we're about wrapped up. So 5 is, of course, a way that investors can make money is real estate related income. That means, like myself, a property manager, project management, all of those receive income based upon a buy or a sell of a property. Did you pay yourself a salary, Daniel, as a project manager?
I did not. I could have.
You could have, though. Yeah, so things like that you want to structure next time, because you're working basically for free until the deal is done. That's what us real estate agents do. Like, we're the sickest individuals in the world. We don't get paid until the deal is done. But we work our asses off to get it done.
Yeah.
But as a project manager, if you would have budgeted in your deal structure, you could have got paid monthly something.
Yeah. I think I should do that the next
That's all I'm going to say. That's nice that you can have that opportunity. Property managers get paid a percentage of the rent, and that's their commission that they get per month. Real estate agents, as I said, real estate agents get into the business because they may want to work with investors. Like I work primarily with investor clients. So I know, the income attached to that is pretty good when those deals are bought, and then when they want to sell it as well. So anybody interested in that kind of career, if you wanted to be an anchor for some of these kind of deals, working with the Daniels and the contractors out there, we can talk real estate too. You ever want to be a real estate agent?
I thought about it. I had a hard time. I have a hard time dealing with exams, period.
With exams?
Yeah. And I bombed that exam at least about 2 or 3 times.
You probably bombed your driving exam too, but you got through that.
You know what? Like, honestly, I didn't. I passed that on the first go round.
He's such a sucker.
Driving 12 pass?
Such a sucker. No, I didn't. It took me at least twice.
I'm more of a hands guy. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to like pen, paper, and taking exams, it messes with my psyche.
That's fine. You stay in your lane. I'll be it. Kevin, did you ever want to be a real estate agent?
You know what's so funny, man? Like my real estate mom / mentor, she been trying to get me to get a real estate license forever, and she almost had me. She's like, Kev, you're investing, you might go ahead and get the license, because she was trying. You know what I'm saying? So I end up meeting with one of the guys here in Maryland, with Keller Williams, because she connected me to him, and I said to myself, I just want to stick to investing. So, Kev, it'd be a great, but I got the books and everything, time and everything. Like,
well, you just connect with me when you're ready to get your next investment property. How about that?
I hear you.
Deal. Yes.
That's cool.
He said, I hear
We'll,
you.
we'll,
Still
we'll
has
think.
to-
I have
I'm
to
looking for a
talk to
commitment.
my. I have, I have,
That's not what
I have
I'm
to
looking
talk to
for
my
a
mentor.
commitment.
I have to talk. I
I'm
gotta.
looking for a
Yeah,
commitment.
I gotta talk to my mentor first.
Somehow he's about to get dropped off the line. That's fine.
Well, we definitely can do. No, I'm just
We're in
picking
two
with you.
we're in
You
two
know, I gotta.
different markets anyway. I'm not driving to Frederick anyway, so we're in two different markets. Or Richmond.
Hey, look. So. Oh, I'll wait till we get off air.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So those that might be interested in real estate or have some real estate questions, find out what it's about because you could earn a pretty good commission.
Right.
Because I started out by just getting my real estate license, just wanting to get access to deals. Okay? You get that, and then you can just kind of move around. But then somehow I started working with buyers and sellers, and then now we're kind of back to the investment. So it all takes full circle. All right, and the last one is, in order for real estate investors to make money, they have to network and follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Network with others and follow up. Once a month, Daniel and I and hundreds of others belong to Deals Meetup.
Right.
And that is a organization. Kevin, I'm not sure if you come to that one. That one's in Prince George's County. This is the first Wednesday of every month at the Harborside Hotel in Oxon Hill. 6:30 they begin, and they just talk real estate. They discuss deals, and you're in a room full of the team that I was talking about. You've got private investors there, folks that have cash, that want to do joint ventures, contractors, folks like myself are in the room, credit repair specialists. So it's a whole mix. If you're looking to get into the investment space, they're there. So I invite you to come out to that Deals Meetup. Google it, because I know they're online. Deals Meetup. Deals Meetup. Look at the Eventbrite so you can get there.
And you can also go on YouTube and do a search for Deals Meetup. They actually have different videos out there to show different type of investors where they're doing rehabs.
Yep.
As well as, saying where they're inside the room pitching different deals.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best meetups that I've been to.
I love it.
The best RIAs that I've ever been a part of.
Right.
And like, honestly, Andre Johnson, I know you're probably out there listening. Man,
big shout out to Andre Johnson.
Awesome job with it, man.
It's growing.
Phenomenal.
It's definitely growing. So, because a lot of times people want me to mentor or to Daniel to mentor. This is 17 years of experience. So I'd rather you start the way I started. It's networking. Get your feet dirty with some of the situations and situations and opportunities that go on, bad and good. But you want to be in the room with those people if you're interested in investing. And I would say if you want to start, if you're in the Maryland area, I know there's more around the country, but I'm in the Maryland area so that I know I can point you in that one. Is it free? It is free, right?
Yeah, it's free.
It's free for you to go. So go and just kind of get educated.
And he gives out drinks. And he gives out drinks around about 5:30. So
I'm there at 5:30.
Come on.
I'm there at 5:30 because I want to.
Right.
I like the cocktails. So first Wednesdays of every month, 6:30, get your butt there. All right. So we wrapped up the 6 ways, ladies and gentlemen, that investors make money. You interested? I mean, what was the feedback? What do you think from that?
I'm gonna throw a 7th one in there if you don't mind.
We got one. Let me write this one down.
You can lend money. You can
be a lender.
This is how.
All right, so explain how that works.
So you have different lending companies out there. Sometimes you can actually network with those lending companies. So if you have a pot of money, such as like your 401k, maybe sitting around not doing anything, or SP plan, you can actually take out a portion of that money over to that company. That company will invest that money for you with return coming back to you of 10% or more. Saying this within a year's time. So that's just money that you're just racking up.
Yeah.
Because your money was just sitting there.
So who does it for you? So you are a lender. I know that. Daniel,
Yes.
you're frozen like Kevin.
In money out.
You were frozen for about 10 seconds.
This company that will actually invest your money for you. I know Janet Lucas, she has a program where she will pretty much lend your money out.
You need to say that one more time because for 10 seconds you were frozen.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I don't even know what else.
That gets a little sketchy in some parts of the world.
Okay, so so you have like Lending Club, which is a company that will lend your money out for you.
Lending Club is what he said. Okay.
Yeah. You have, I can't remember the name of the company Janet Lucas is a part of. She also has a program where she will lend your money out for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice enough return. And you can also do it yourself if you want to.
Right.
You don't have to go through, send a company, and wind up getting a percentage of the returns. You can do it yourself. But what I would recommend is make sure that you do your research and your homework before lending out your money.
Right. So even though you may have funds, there are quite a few people who have a substantial amount of money. And when I say substantial, anything over $20,000.
Yeah.
Anything over that. Because, for example, the deal that I was sharing with you, the one where you have the private financing company that put together money for your deal, where do you think they got that money from?
Yeah.
There's other lenders behind the scenes that contributed money. And whatever arrangement that they get on the percentage on that money is that arrangement. But you can be a lender. So let's say you contributed $20,000 to this particular company, and they invested it for you for a year. At the end of the year, you will get a great percentage because you invested it with that private financing company.
Right.
Cecilia Bell, I know you do it all the time. She's one of the rock star investors around the Prince George's area. She does a lot, and she does a lot of connecting with people to do the same thing. There's folks that have money, 401k, not doing a damn thing with it, and she pairs it with people who are looking to buy property. You marry those two people together, and you have an investment deal. So as I said, have professionals that know what they're doing to structure it properly, so that you're just not giving somebody, hey, here's $20,000, invest it, and I hope it works out. No, you don't do that.
For other individuals that may not necessarily have that $20,000 or that $40,000, what have you, one of the things that you can do if you want to just go ahead and get started with lending, you can actually go to the bank and ask them for a line of credit. If you get the line of credit, then you can actually take that money and give it over to the company to actually do the investing for you. Okay? Real simple, real easy. You just making money off of what the bank is actually providing you.
You can be the bank, period. Right. Be the bank. You want to be the lender, not the borrower. So it may take a couple of times. I remember the very first investment deals that I was doing, I needed a hard money lender because I didn't have $150,000 yet to be able to do that. So you're going to have to do what you need to do to get to that point where your cash is not a problem and you can be your own bank and you develop your own line of credit. But there's private financing companies out there that will finance 100% of your deal. And, you can joint venture with someone where you won't need to come out of pocket with anything. So you've got to be able to talk to professionals, real estate folks that will get you the full circle of how to make that work out. Okay? Yes, I remember that, Kevin. Merry Christmas to you. So thank you for that 7th tip, because that one is probably the icing on the cake that a lot of people who have their jobs may not want to be at the Home Depot and doing all the fixtures and doing all those runs to the store. But you want your money to work for you, right? That's a no-brainer. You want your money to always be performing at a high-ass level.
Oh my gosh, especially with individuals who have TSPs.
TSPs, 401ks.
It's like, I know with the government program with the TSP, you can actually pull money out of your TSP without being penalized.
That's right.
Okay. but you will be paying that money back through your paycheck.
Yeah.
You have your money already somewhere else being invested for you.
Yep. You're paying it back.
Making money on top of money, you know what I mean, without any penalties.
We have a financial planner in our circle, and I know if you don't already have one, you need to have these conversations to see if I were to pull this money out of my TSP or my 401k and I return it back within 9 months, 6 months, whatever the deal is, what does that look like? Could there be tax implications if you keep it out? Sure, but you're putting it back.
Right.
You're putting it back, all right? And you just made a profit on that money. So that's all my day looks like. So I'm looking for properties for those individuals out there in the Maryland and DC area who might be looking to put that together. Daniel, I know you are one of them.
Oh, you know it.
He has partnered up with my new deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have fun with this. So if you're looking to put your boots on during the daytime and just kind of look at some properties, that might be a new course of action for you.
Yeah.
Kevin, what have you been doing in real estate? Can't hear you.
I've been
It's something about that mute button that just doesn't allow us to hear.
that's what leaders do, man. They make sure they don't interrupt the call by having their phones on mute.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I've been doing some 3-2s and
What is that?
fourplex.
Break that down for people.
3-2s is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, residential, and fourplexes. I literally let my lady, Miss BJ, handle all that because she's just a phenomenal person I've been working closely with for years, and you know she's like my second mother. So
okay,
she's just a phenomenal person all around, and that's kind of what my focus is. Like I only want to focus on fourplexes because the way I'm looking at it is everything I get literally kind of goes to my daughters, even though I'm in control of it, but it's literally kind of all in their name under a corp and a trust. So, you know.
You're holding those properties.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So he likes the cash flow. You got some investors really prefer that cash flow every month because that's residual income. Hello, that takes care of a few things. Okay, Kevin, are you doing any properties where you're flipping properties? Okay. So he's all about stacking up and taking care of that wealth for the rest of the baby's lives.
Yeah, I don't do nothing for myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Use for little ones.
So we need to talk about just a plan. You know, some are okay with the flipping. Some prefer to have more in the portfolio. It doesn't matter. It's what you want. So we just wanted to lay these 7 nuggets down to help those that might be on the fence about investing. Don't get too overwhelmed with it because guess what? You're not doing it all by yourself. All right. So we're gonna leave. Did you have any final tips, Mr. B?
Not really, but just do your due diligence, be active, and be forward thinking.
And be patient. And be patient.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Be very, very patient. So we're signing off for you guys. We will make sure that we leave the 7 for the investors so that you can check them out. And we'll also leave Kevin's information, my information, as well as Daniel's information if you wanted to talk more offline about getting your personal team together to get some real estate transactions under your belt. All right? So signing off now. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you.
Hello.